Eidos Montreal's Thief marks a return for the series after almost a decade gone, and reflecting that gap, Thief brings major changes to the series. Yeah, main character Garrett still steals just about everything he can reach, but a new obsession with scripted story sequences and stealth action often leave Thief feeling like the worst of both worlds. Thief puts you in the padded shoes of the aforementioned Garrett. Garrett is good at stealing things, and at times, Thief tasks you with doing just that. Garrett's a pretty versatile guy. Using a climbing hook, rope arrows, and other tools along with his own agility, he's great at getting where he's not supposed to be. You can pick locks, hide in cabinets, sneak into windows, generally hoover up everything shiny that's laying around, all while keeping to the shadows and avoiding the guards who will put a quick end to you if they find you. Thief does a great job of teaching you that you absolutely do not want to get caught. Garrett isn't much of a fighter. Sure, he can knock people out from behind well enough, but in stand-up confrontation, you're more likely than not to get cut down. Running and hiding is almost always the better option. These basic mechanics are most functional in the hub world that connects Thief's different levels and side missions. It's a collection of open spaces where you get a sense of the miserable, disease-ridden place that Garrett calls home. And the differences in verticality and dark corners made me feel the most like the Thief that I thought I was supposed to be. But, for whatever reason, Eidos Montreal was much more interested in throwing Garrett into a dark conspiracy involving an ancient artifact that will do stuff. It's never really clear what that artifact or the people using it intend to do with it, other than a mostly vague sense of bad things. The worst bad thing about it is how often it forces Thief into objectives that don't revolve around stealing as much as possible. Thief frequently forces you down an incredibly linear set of paths. The openness of the hub world vanishes, and often the only choice that I was making was whether I go high or low. There are occasional opportunities for more freeform play. A pair of mansion levels allow for multiple points of entry and evoke past Thief games reasonably well, but as the game progresses, Thief manages to stifle those few chances for experimentation. I found less and less margin for error around the game's murderous AI, and Thief's controls rarely felt up to the challenge of navigating the razor-thin opportunities I did see. The result was a near constant cycle of saving and reloading. This all contributes to a sense of a game that hasn't quite come together. There are too many guards later on to enjoy the parts that do open up. There aren't enough opportunities to use Garrett's more interesting gear, and the hub world's map is impenetrable. Given Thief's aggressive story focus, it's even more surprising how slapped together that part feels. Cutscenes often seem unintentionally rushed. In-game audio cues misfire and often overlap, and audio levels are frequently broken. And on the Xbox One and PS4 versions we played, there were frequent, significant frame rate issues. I'm almost embarrassed to admit that I often liked Thief despite that laundry list of problems. The rating system and challenge modes provide replayability, which is encouraged by a novel leaderboard system. It was fun to acquire new gear like the wrench and see more opportunities for stealth. I liked the way that stolen gold becomes the currency for character progression. Even upgrading Garrett's focus abilities is largely achieved by donating to the mysterious Queen of Beggars. And despite the frame rate issues, Thief is often stunning on PC and next-gen consoles. Too often, Thief made me feel like one mouse in a narrow hallway filled with cats. There are elements of a better game than Thief, maybe even a great one, and there are times where Garrett feels like the master burglar that I wanted to play. But Thief never quite pulls it together.